It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
And welcome. Yes, we are late. That's Gato's fault. He forgot the computer and got us late. We're hoping the sound is working good. We're all good. Welcome. We're at Al Capone. We're at the Founders Shooting Gallery. Yes, you heard me right. Shooting Gallery. Dawn is in France. And if you send me another Eiffel Tower, I'm in France. One more time, Dawn. We're going to have issues when you get back. Okay, but I'm in here with a brand new show. I'm going to let you guys meet Mr. Brian here. Now, you remember that we had him on You and Your Doctor. They were gracious enough to donate the time. Brian had a cause, but this is a bigger, better, more pleasant situation that we have cooking here. We're gonna bring you because they're gonna be doing radio live Monday nights from 8 to 9 p.m.
Thank you, Freddie. It's been a wonderful journey with you and Dawn. Of course, I apologize to the crowd there. I'm the less attractive co-host that you typically get because, as you heard, Dawn is in France. But I will do the best that I can. Okay?
There you go. And you give Dawn a run for her money.
Well, hey,
I'm in a lot of
I pay him to say that, I think. But yeah, today we're super excited because for those that had a chance to chime in and heard a little bit of my story, it was. Everyone has a battle you know nothing about. Everyone has a fight. And sometimes you really need support and help and you're around you to carry through those tough times. And we're here to discuss a little bit about what was a big part of carrying me through and continues to carry me through upward and onward to beautiful things for my family and our journey and empowerment of the people around us.
Now let's talk about the journey because we're at the Founders Shooting Gallery. Now, we've done a ton of outside shoots. I've been doing this long enough that I've done everything from up north down to the Keys. But this, I have never seen. The Founders Shooting Gallery, this place is amazing. So tell us a little bit about how'd you find this place?
Well, Founders Shooting Club is, it's very unique and it's something that needs to be replicated. And while I'm not personally associated with Founders, we have forged a wonderful relationship with them that we'll get into a little bit more. But the concept is, it is the space in between your home and your work, and it's ultimately where community could gather. Our structure of our society nowadays with suburbia, we lost the idea of the town centers, the squares. And this serves that purpose. It's an extension of your home, and we are very blessed to have come across Founders Shooting Club when we were in the formation of our brotherhood, Gentlemen's Tribe. The way that we found this is that we were looking for a location to have our men's meetings, and in that endeavor, we came across here and we said, you know what? This is perfect. This is where we have to have our meetings. It has the feel, it has the vibe of a reclaimed modern masculinity. Which is something that is near and dear to our hearts with our mission.
Now the club is not restricted just to men, though.
It is not.
Because I saw some women, and they had guns and stuff. I opened the doors because it's not only restricted to men. There are women here as well. And to itemize that point, because Dawn is not with me, I brought in one of the co-hosts from one of the shows that we do on Thursday nights here as well. And you got a couple of friends that are going to be co-hosting with you. So this is like a tribe, but we mix in some women so you don't think, and don't write to me. Yes, you know who you are. Do not write to me. There are men and women at this shoot and facility. Very important.
There are. And these aren't just friends. These are brothers. And as we get into that, and sisters. Yeah. And this is the wonderful, it's like we just need a fire pit head. Like we're sitting around the fire and it's the modern tribe for the modern world, right?
And listen, and the crew, we got two guys, And we have 4 women and 2 guys. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on down here, but this is great. Why don't we introduce our co-host?
Sure, why not? I guess we'll take it down the line. This guy I go back with many years, back to college, and we did a lot of wonderful things back then, built some organizations. And when it was time to build what we're going to discuss here today, he tapped me, said, Brian, I need you. This is somebody that I believe is a true brother all the way through, Mr. Ian Miller. Introduce yourself. Say hello.
Hey, Brian. First off, I'm humbled and honored to be here with you guys today. This is an awesome experience. I'm Ian Miller. During the day, I'm a personal injury attorney, but I like to focus on helping people, growing a lot more than just what the business is. So I'm proud to be part of the Gentleman's Tribe that we've started with you and obviously with Pedro. I'm excited about the good things we're doing and that we're going to continue doing in the future.
Ian is humble. And let me tell you something, with what we're building, he's the brainchild. Since then, we have been the architects to build something even better together, but we're here because of Ian. Ian has a passion to him. He has an ability to build structures and systems, and while it started with him, people have been called and rallied around him to really get where we are today. So you're going to get a chance through our show to get to know Mr. Ian Miller even better. You were saying something?
Ian actually was a guest on
Laura
Laura Sanders' show.
Yeah.
So you've been to the studio.
I have. Laura was gracious enough to invite me on, and we had an amazing talk. It was a great recording, and it was nice to get the word out about my day job and the things that I do and answer her questions and collaborate, and it's fun to continue on this journey with you guys.
And Laura also introduced us at an event that she invited us. It was your event.
Yeah, I'll promote that. It's actually our event. It's funny how Ian has a way of just sucking me into the orbit, and all of a sudden, like, I get involved with all these tasks, and I have a lot of responsibilities. So, but it's definitely built our life quite wonderfully. Ian and I, as well as our friend Aaron Hassinger, which you'll have a chance to meet throughout the process of the show, we built a SoFlo Mastermind Collective. It is a networking group for every Tuesday and Thursday. It takes place in the Coconut Creek Promenade over there at World of Beer. That's where we meet from 1 o'clock to 1:15. We call in many different people. It's vocation specific, and it's a wonderful place to collaborate. What differentiates that particular group from other types of networking structures, you'll find very kind of sterile environments where it's very transactional, like, hey, here's a referral, here's a referral. We believe in getting a little deeper, maybe showing a little more vulnerability. No one's the perfect business owner. And once you're able to get into that headspace, you really forge transformational relationships. And that's where the true growth happens. And I think that the essence of that within the SoFlo Mastermind Collective really stems from Gentleman's Tribe and what we learned in that particular men's group.
Excellent. All right, and who do you got in the middle?
Pedro. Pedro is unique unto himself. He's been a wonderful addition and has to the tribe along the way. And it's almost, somebody told me this the other day. It just seems that the right people enter your life at the right time.
Right.
Almost like a divine, meeting. And that's how I feel about Pedro. Pedro can speak about himself a little bit, but Pedro, kindly introduce yourself to the crowd.
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you, Brian, and thank you to everyone for inviting me to participate in what I think is an amazing opportunity to connect with other people. So about me, I'd say I'm more interested in learning about people. That's the one thing I'll say about me. Long history in established healthcare. So I've had the opportunity to look behind the veil, for good or for bad, to kind of see what's really going on. And as I've transitioned into being a personal lifestyle architect or coach, so to speak, it gives me the opportunity to meet people where they're at and not solve their problems, but help them identify their problems. So as far as Gentleman's Tribe is concerned, we feel amongst Ian, myself, and the rest of the team that we're onto something really incredible to impact this loneliness epidemic that is currently crippling our country, where, to be quite honest with you, we all come from tribes. all of us, everyone in this room. And the more society evolves, the more we're disconnecting from that feeling of community. So for me, I'm humbled and profoundly blessed to be part of this particular group. And I think the impact we can make is quite substantial.
You speak to that so eloquently. What I pick up on, it's a tribal framework of something that was lost that maybe we're remembering, and remembering how to connect as community. Because when we go through life, the feeling of something's missing, something's lost, that connective tissue, that's something I feel that people are desperately searching for, and finding the right vehicle to be able to bring that connection together is something that you so eloquently spoke to, which of course I'm a full believer in myself, a part of the tribe.
And I brought one of the hosts that we do on Thursday nights. Why don't you tell them about your show and let them know who you are? And it's interesting because the blend is different, where you provide a community service, and I have worked with this lady maybe a year now, and before that there was another company who is similar but different in her field, and I've known them for 8 years. It's one of my longest running shows on radio, I am. But you bring a different dimension, a whole different dimension to what you do, and you're more hands-on. Why don't you tell people what you do?
I'm so honored being here today. Not only that we have so much in common, and we kind of had some deep conversations before the show, talking about our spirituality, our views about life and everything. I'm deeply connected as well in Toronto and around the world. I've been studying so much spirituality, and I'm very humbled to be here and listening to you today. But I'm in a totally different line, but however, I want to connect the soul, mind, and body as well. My company takes care of seniors, so I am a skilled and non-skilled, non-medical and medical home health care agency that we take care of seniors. But what we want to focus more is the care of the soul, where it gets so neglected. So my show name is Soul Care, and we kind of want to bring in different inspiration, not only to seniors, but everyone around. So today it's all about you guys. I want to listen. I'm like a sponge today. I am so intrigued, and I want to ask you so many questions as well. But my first question is, what is your approach? And I really ask you, Pedro, about that. What is your approach? And I want to learn from this, not only how I approach my seniors, but what is your approach to every client, and how do you develop a care plan?
So with my clients, and I purposefully choose not to take on many clients because we're all so complex, right? Think about it, we all come from different backgrounds, different histories, different upbringings. So with my clients, for those first few sessions, I'm just taking a lot of notes. People are looking to solve their problems. I help them find what those problems are at a root cause. And that's a really intimate relationship that you develop with someone from all walks of life. Men, women, seniors, adolescents. I think the goal about developing a plan is, if you look at us collectively, there's 6 pillars of health, according to Harvard. Nutrition, sleep, movement, mental health and resilience, avoiding risky substances, and social connection. Uncovering where someone fits on that scale is also really important to me, because when they're not with me, what are they doing at home? How are they looking after themselves? Who's in their social circle? Who's advocating for them? So they have to have a certain discerning nature as far as how they're going to approach living this life, because let's be honest, this is a gift. The chances of all of us being here are 1 in 400 million. So given that opportunity, what are you going to do with it?
Look at the coincidence.
Is this
Pedro's show, Pedro's company's name is the same. It's called AMP.
Yeah, Pedro, tell us about that.
What are the odds? What are universal laws that brought us together today? And what am I doing here today? By the way,
that's a question.
For another.
So I've chosen to go down this wellness entrepreneurship shift after being in established healthcare, because empowering people to take on more responsibility is something I felt called to do. So one particular segment of my coaching or transformational program is called the Awakened Male Protocol, AMP, because I feel that there's a lot of men that are just dormant in their lives. They're just sleepwalking. They don't feel happy. They don't feel content. And sometimes you just need someone who is objective, that cares about them, for them to recognize that they should be caring about themselves and wake up and stir up some feelings that they probably maybe have neglected to think about since childhood, or maybe they need to be awoken to what their current relationship status looks like, and to really settle in and understand that instead of trying to be something else or someone else, just to be you, and what that exercise looks like.
So does this tie into the concept of the show when you put it together? Is this like...
This is, so what Pedro's speaking to, that is his coaching platform that he has, but a lot of the principles and essence of what he's talking about does ripple through the Gentleman's Tribe. Gentleman's Tribe, I think, is what I'll compare it to is this, and I'll kind of let Ian kind of pick up from here, but I would associate it like this. When you're a man that cares about being the best father you can be, when you're a man that cares about being the best husband you can be, care about being the best business owner you can be, you care the best to be the best person showing up in your community, it gets lonely sometimes, because not all men are engineered that way. You become like this lone wolf. Maybe your family doesn't fully appreciate the task, the burdens you bear, and you may feel like nobody really cares. But you take that lone wolf and imagine that lone wolf found a pack of other men like him. There's empowerment in that. And when men feel like there's no outlet for me, when they get into that room, it just takes guys to come to one meeting. See, they're surrounded by other people that are like-minded, and when there's a power in vulnerability and unlocking. It's confidential, the meetings, but when you have a space to unlock, when I'm in there and I'm talking about the trials and fires that I had to walk, it gives permission to the other men to unlock as well. And in there is something magical. And in that magic, it creates the framework for the other beautiful things that we have designed through our particular ecosystem within Gentleman's Tribe. And matter of fact, you know, I don't know if one of the guys want to piggyback on what I said and maybe give their take on what they believe the tribe means to them.
That's a good idea.
All right. I don't know, what do you think, Ian?
So for me, it's kind of like a home, you know, a place where I can get together with like-minded men who want to grow. They want to grow in all aspects of their life, whether it's their personal growth and development, their spiritual relationship, their business, how they are as a husband, as a father, as a business owner to their employees. There are many facets to a man's life. It's not just one-dimensional, and there's room for growth in all of these, and we try to focus on the ability to grow in all these different areas and let men open up. And so we have a meeting topic every month. When we get together for one meeting a month, and we use that as an opportunity to have a topic that we come up with that makes you look inward, makes you reflect on where you can grow as a man. A lot of times it's an aha moment. Wow, you know, I didn't realize in that area of my life there was some real room for growth. I was showing up short and I have room to grow. So now let's reflect on that. It's a self-reflective journey. Where can I improve? What daily habits can I adjust to make myself better? And then come to the meeting. And at the meeting, everyone's going to speak for a handful of minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes, depending on how many guys we have in the room, and tell us about that self-reflection. Yes, there's a vulnerability component. Yes, that's why it's confidential. But it allows you to look in and make yourself better in all those different facets of your life. So you're going to grow and you're going to become a better man for everyone around you. And it begins with your relationship with you.
Now, how many people do you have in the group right now? How many men?
So each chapter is maxed out with 20 members. And we have a leadership team of 3 at each chapter. We launched our Broward Founders chapter the 3rd Friday of last month. They meet the 3rd Friday of the month. We are launching tomorrow the Boca chapter. And again, we're going to cap it at 20. We like to have the leaders from one chapter have the flexibility to go visit others, to learn what they do, see what's good there, and bring it back to their own chapter. And then, of course, we also like to have events where all the local chapters come together. We also have a second Broward chapter we call the Central Broward chapter. They're going to be launching the 2nd Friday of next month. We also have a Pembroke Pines chapter that's just going to be starting. Next Friday will be their first meeting. And also Next Tuesday, the second Tuesday of the month, we have a Doral in Miami chapter. So we're growing pretty rapidly. A lot of times what we're finding is guys didn't know this existed. They didn't know there was this place where they can come to, where you can be safe, where you can unload, where you can unpack the things that are bothering you so they don't build up inside, so you don't let them out on people you love and care about. And once they come to a meeting and they see like, wow, this is really something special. I didn't know I needed this. I didn't know I needed it until I saw it, recognized it's a thing, it's out there, and now I'm coming back every month. I don't miss a meeting. And before you know it, the wife, the partner, a lot of these people encourage them to go because they see how they come back from the meeting. They see that they're improving, they're finding better ways to deal with their problems, they're finding solutions. It's a beautiful thing, and it's something that we as a society need. It's essential for men and for the people in the men's lives.
It's interesting that you have, I'm assuming you have so many different aspects to every one of these groups. Now, do you have, the three of you have access to all of the chapters?
As leaders, we have access to all the chapters. We also understand the importance of cross-pollination. And you might have one chapter, which is your culture, but an opportunity to interact with the other guys around the several cultures. And my experience is when you meet somebody, even if you're not as familiar with them, knowing that you've walked the same path, had the same unlocking, and the same mindset, that brotherhood is already there.
What about members from other chapters? Do they have access to each other?
That's something
that
that's a great question, because the cross-pollination is very important. We do have overall tribe opportunities, but also we're mindful of also cross-pollination, giving opportunities for some of the members to visit the other chapters as well. Now, mind you, the chapters the design of this is about not just unlocking, but also a bit about an opportunity for business. So we are vocation specific. So I'm a real estate attorney by trade. I'm the only real estate attorney in my particular group. Ian is a personal injury attorney, and we have Pedro that is a life coach. Now, other chapters have, there could be the same vocation, other chapters, but that creates an ecosystem in order for business to also flow organically among people that you know, like, and trust, and that are your brothers. So it's a wonderful opportunity there that leads to other things.
But is it one per group? Like there'll be one him, one you, and then if there's a surplus, you put them in another chapter, so you try to keep it individualized?
Yes, we target men. The man that's out there, if they are called, as we spoke to, about trying to be the best man they could be, best father they could be, leveling up and kind of in that mindset and framework, if that man has a calling, we will find a space for him. And that's why our chapters are growing very rapidly.
That's interesting.
I have a question. How do you qualify to enter a chapter like this? Because I know it's a very personal journey, and I know actually it's more spiritual, more healing than a business. However, you want every individual to grow as a business owner as well. So how do you qualify to enter a chapter like this?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think that's a good question for Ian. Why don't you share that one?
Yeah, that's a great question. And quality control is essential. We don't want just anyone showing up to our meetings. We want men who are really going to grow. So there's a certain degree of a vetting process, to the extent that you have to be invited by a current member of the organization.
Okay.
So people who are interested, you can reach out to us, to the leaders, and we'll get to know you. If you're the right quality guy, which most people who are willing to work on themselves, willing to recognize there's room for growth in their life, they're going to be a good fit. You just have to have that willingness. And we'll figure out a chapter that's open for them, and we're constantly opening new chapters. This is spread like wildfire. It's amazing because so many men realize they need this, and so one chapter spills into another, because we hit that 20 maximum very, very quickly. And we don't want to have more than 20 because it gets to the point where it's hard to have a close relationship with everyone in the group. We want it to be almost like a brotherhood where you have that fraternal component. And it's important you have that relationship with all of the 19 other members of the chapter. And when we get together for a meeting, it's important every gentleman has an opportunity to speak for several minutes and to unload and to reflect and share how they're going to evolve from this and move on and become better. So we get to that 20 point, and as we see that there's a few other people, we start another chapter, and that's how multiple of our current chapters have formed. It's simply by growth.
I'm very curious about the surrounding and what environment you're holding your meetings in, because I can see this a very humble approach. I can see the sound healings and everything happening in that room. Is that of an environment I'm imagining, or it's a restaurant setting?
It's a really cool space, and so each group is meeting at a different place. We use Founder Shooting Club here. A few of us are members, not everyone obviously, but because of our relationship with this particular facility, they have a meeting room here that they use as a classroom. It's a great facility. We set up the room specific for us. We create a circle where all the chairs are facing. In the middle we have a table with food and stuff. We do it as a lunch. So for the first hour we'll meet out here at the lounge. We'll have a buffet of food out, and the guys will have an opportunity to network, catch up with their other brothers, and then after the first hour we go into the private room. And that's where we have the meeting with the privacy component, where everything's confidential. The men can open up and feel at home amongst their brothers.
This was another question of mine about confidentiality. Do you have the members sign something, or it's a verbal agreement that everything stays within the group? Because this is huge. Like when you're opening up yourself to that level, it's almost you want to be comfortable coming back 1 year later. I know myself, when I'm part of a tribe as well in Toronto, and we kind of make a promise to each other that no matter what happens, is on spiritual level, that we promise each other that we'll be in a sisterhood forever, and we do not disclose however, and whatever happens during those intense hours.
We are strict on confidentiality. Okay, confidentiality is actually interwoven into our core tribe principles. Matter of fact, tribe is an acronym for our belief structure. Who do you guys want to chime in on that? Not to put you on the spot, but
so yeah, it's also in the tribe acronym. But beyond that, when you join the organization, I don't call it an application. We decided to call it a commitment form, because you're committing to these values and to growth and accountability, and confidentiality is right up there at the top of the list, and you have to agree to abide by that as part of this process. While we recognize as men, growth requires us to be vulnerable and recognize we make mistakes, confidentiality is just one of those things that has to be in place in order for this to be effective.
There's an old saying, we're going to take a commercial break, but there's an old saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
What happens in this chapter stays in this chapter.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break,
that.
we're going to pay some bills, and then we'll come back. If you have any questions you want to write in, you can do that. It's fascinating that something like this actually exists. Now, we are running 100 plus women. Dawn now is the associate, or whatever we want to call it. I've seen this type of deal with women.
A lot.
But I've never seen it for men, which to me
I'm blown away.
is different. And you're here because I wanted to make sure that everybody understands we are offering both sides of the equation. Anyway, let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Let's do a hard break. See you on the other side.
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
At Revive Air, we're revolutionizing indoor air quality with AirShield technology. Our commitment is clear: delivering advanced air disinfection solutions for healthier, safer environments across all indoor spaces. AirShield utilizes patented confined plasma field technology to neutralize viruses, bacteria, mold spores, allergens, and more, ensuring cleaner, safer air for everyone. Breathe safe with Revive Air. Visit airshield.com or call 608-807-8677 to learn more. That's 608-807-8677 to learn more. Revive Air, redefining clean air. Because you are what you breathe.
RCCA has a team of specialized therapists to treat a wide array of injuries and conditions, including balance issues, back pain, fall prevention techniques, joint replacements, and stroke rehab. Our therapists at RCCA help adults reclaim their strength and flexibility, allowing them to return to their hobbies and sports. We tailor treatment to return our patients to activities they love, such as croquet, gym workouts, golf, pickleball, and tennis. Our state-of-the-art equipment and therapists ensure that there is something here for everyone.
Receive the very best in home care. At Sunshine Home Care Services, our mission is simple yet profound: to support and enhance the lives of our clients. We genuinely enhance the quality of life and offer a comprehensive suite of 26 services tailored to meet every need. We go beyond the basics with health monitoring, emotional support, pet care, and home safety checks. Sunshine Home Care Services is more than just a service. It's a partnership in care. We invite you to experience the difference a compassionate team can make. For a personal consultation, call us today at 561-821-5811.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. Here we are back at Founders Shooting Gallery. I can't even imagine ever doing a show in a shooting gallery. But we are here with Gentleman's Tribe and Sunshine.
Sunshine. I'm the only woman here. Like, look at this. Sunshine. Gotta be a sunshine here with so many powerful men.
Now you know why we don't allow
You
women.
have the pick of the litter. Look at that, huh?
We know why we don't allow women in the group. Okay.
I would think twice if I would have known the setting. But look, I had a calling.
Think twice.
I had a calling, and we were talking about discipline, because the biggest challenge that I face while dealing with my soul and my issues and my, aligning my chakras and finding the momentum, it's always staying disciplined. And I know the access to powerful, people around the world is always something. You don't have access to someone right away to establish that relationship where, listen, I need help and I'm stuck. How do you work? Do you take a client at a time? So if you have clients do you have anyone on speed dial calling you at 3 a.m.? Listen, I need help. Get me out of this. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, but there's also importance to have boundaries, right? And in anything in life, that if you don't establish those boundaries, then you will eventually get pulled into whatever's happening to that person. So
that is a fantastic answer, because how do you keep, and when you finish with a client, how do you establish him to be that disciplined that he knows, and you know that he will be good on his own?
That's a really good question. It's a very complicated and complex question because everyone is different. I'll answer your question by bringing it back to Gentleman's Tribe, is that there's accountability. That sometimes with accountability, we feel like we always have to take things on ourselves. That's where the problem starts.
That's where the problem starts.
So when you have a group of individuals that are invested in your success as much as you are, then ultimately that is the recipe for long-term optimization. So in Gentleman's Tribe, if there's someone who wants to get in shape, guess what? He's not the only one that's looking to get in shape. And we have a group within our tribe that focuses on physical fitness.
Very good.
If there is a person that wants to scale and really take a look at their business, rather than going outside and looking for a consulting firm, there's a lot of amazing talent already within the organization that they can tap into.
Yep.
So in the months that Gentleman's Tribe has been building, and as Ian alluded to how it's been growing so fast, is because the value is inherently there, but it's always been there. We've just been able to look at it and say, let's build this framework where anyone listening, I'm sure they can relate, or someone they know can relate to what we're doing. Because depression, anxiety, loneliness, these are the plagues of the modern world. And if you don't do something intentional about it, then unfortunately these statistics will continue to grow.
So what are the biggest issues, sorry to interrupt you, in healthcare that actually influence everything that you're just spoken about?
I'd say if I was to talk about the biggest issues in healthcare, we'd probably be here for at least another 6 hours. So I'll just tell you that from my perspective, the biggest issue in healthcare is people not having the right answers that they tell themselves. Meaning, we often rely on others to tell us what's going on, but we don't trust ourselves enough to ask those deeper questions. Empowering people to be more provocative with their healthcare is, I think, a major goal of what we do in Gentleman's Tribe. Keep your physicians accountable. Right?
And if I could piggyback on that, so I had opportunity to share on other shows. Maybe the audience out there doesn't know fully about what's going on with me, but I had 2 children with a life-shortening rare disease. My 4-year-old son died on June 30th of last year. We're fighting for the life of my 8-year-old. So through this journey and experience, we've become intimately involved with the challenges of Western medicine, which doctors, they're fighting the best that they can with the tools that they have, within the framework that's provided to them. But there also has something needs to be said for an Eastern root cause problem solving style wellness in this country. Instead of putting a Band-Aid on the back end, how can we get to the roots and be able to heal somebody to effectuate broader and sweeping opportunities for health in the mind, body, and soul. So through our journey, we've been to Boston Children's Hospital Philadelphia, National Institute of Health, and no one had anything there to help us. So that led us to a path of wellness, looking at biohackers or longevity experts, where the idea is, how could I find a way to help my son be able to live a long and quality life? And through that, we came across stem cells, for instance, which now we receive stem cell treatments. We now are in touch with a gene editing scientist, where we have a chance. That's something that just happened. Part of my platform that I'm very passionate about is empowering families, the caretakers of those families, how to get through intense fire, to be able to keep the family together, keep everything together, find a path, find a way, and maybe even make a difference. If it's not for your kids, it could be for somebody else's. Selfishly, I want to save my kid. I'm going to continue that fight, and that's the path I was talking about. I'm not sure if I'd be here today if it wasn't for the encouragement, the love, and the support of the men of Gentleman's Tribe. This isn't just a talking point. This isn't just, hey, it's a fun little group to get together. I'm talking about real life stuff. I'm talking about the difference between life and death, whether to give up or move forward. And there's many men that feel that, but can't always talk about it. We now have a place for you to talk about it.
So what would be your advice to someone that just doesn't feel right? And I know we spoke about this before, because so many of us just don't feel right, and doesn't matter
if somebody doesn't feel right, that's the symptom. To what Pedro was saying, trust yourself, listen to yourself, believe yourself. Because if something isn't right, it is not. And the thing is your body knows, your body remembers. Trust that instinct. And sometimes it might not always be easy to find exactly what that is wrong, but put yourself in containers and spaces where you just might find it. And if you just might find it, you just might heal it.
I don't know about you guys, but for me, my gut feeling is always right. Always. I can never, ever go wrong with my gut. My monkey brain always tells me something else, and my heart always leads in different directions. But my gut feeling can never be wrong.
And I respect that, and that is the women's intuition.
It's the women.
We're working with maybe inferior framework as men, but ultimately, maybe we need a little help to find out what's wrong with us. But I think that, to your point, yes, and that's something us as men could learn from the wonderful women in our orbit, is that we're very logic-based. Sometimes it's to listen to our soul in that emotional sense, because there are clues there for healing.
Up, right? Spiritually,
there
this is
you
where you start sensing more. If I don't feel it, I dream it. If I don't dream it, I'll hear it. If I don't hear it, I see it. I'm always like that, and I know it's a deep connection because it's more work, and I don't know, but it took me a long time to develop that sense, and I love hearing all about it.
You know, there was a time when I was at the 3-4 in New York City, and I learned behind that blue line, police officers needed help. You wake up every morning and you're faced with, am I coming home tonight? And then you wake up in the morning and you have a wife, am I coming home tonight? So now it's 2 lives. And then you have kids, and you wake up every morning and you say, am I coming home to her and them? And all of a sudden, the pressure begins to mount. And people just don't understand. They think that you are automatic. You're supposed to make a decision, life or death, in 1.3 seconds. And unless you understand what that's like, and you got nowhere to go, and then you couldn't talk to your buddies because you didn't want to seem weak.
That's right.
You don't want to seem like you can't talk this, like you have to talk to somebody, because that was never done back in the day. Back in the day, they didn't have all this reach out program. And I've met with cops down here as well. And everybody, you know, you walk around with a lot of guns and a lot of ammo, and you're walking and you're tough and you're like macho and all. I gotta tell you something. I could plug this group into every precinct that I know of, and it would take off. Simply because it's confidential. You make it feel secure. These are guys hanging out from all facts of life, you know. And then if there are problems in there, and again, I don't know if there are because I have not attended any of the meetings, but if there are, just have a homecoming to be able to talk about issues. And the more I hear the three of you talking about this, the more I can sense that the need in the community to what you're doing, the reason it's growing so rapidly, and the most ironic thing about this is that we're in a gallery where you can shoot weapons. That is so ironic. You have no clue. I'm back in the Bronx, back in Manhattan at the 3-4 all over again, because I saw those guys.
And to your point, you know, the duality of what are we talking about here? Talk about love. All right, we're talking about self-love, a love for our brother, and that's very important. As a man, we also are in our shooting gallery, so we have that masculine component. And I think that it's no secret that there's a men's mental health crisis in this country. And there's a healthy way that could be done, and that there's an unhealthy way that could be done of being manipulated and going down darker paths. We're the healthy way. And in that healthy way, when people discuss what an alpha male is, it's not the guy in the parking lot picking a fight. It's a man with emotional intelligence, a man that knows he's got to be a leader for his family, his friends, his community. Those that have the ability to connect with other people, practice deep empathy, but still have the ability to create boundaries and build structures in order to sustain the love and life of the people around him, especially his family. So within that framework, it's no coincidence that we're at a shooting range, because we still are going to be unapologetically masculine. But what does that masculinity truly mean to the modern man? And it's something that is surrounded and embodied with love.
True that. And there are also my friends in the military who come back from all sorts of places. Talk about masculinity. You got guys who run $1 million equipment, who handle things that can destroy your world in a heartbeat. And they come back and they can't keep it together. And they can't find that job. And they can't find that friend that understands what they're going through. They send you to the VA and they make you wait half a day, and you get an aspirin. I've heard so many war stories where I can take a group like yours and just plug them in so many different places. So many different. Now, I'm not going to say that you guys are professional enough to handle PTSD guys that are really off the deep end. But they weren't born that way. You know, these guys came back after doing what they said they promised to do, and then they let them go in society and say, we don't got a place for you.
You're touching upon a profound need that internally as leadership of the tribe we have discussed. We have many military veterans in our organization that have seen hell on earth, and there's unlocking with them, and they also, it's not lost upon us that they have a unique path that they have walked, and we are designing certain programs and outreach with internally the veterans within our chapters, specifically designed for that type of healing.
And I gotta tell you, none of this was ever thought of. Everything you're seeing here happened because of a lunch, because of a visit, all of this, none of it. I've been doing this show we're doing for over 10 years. We've had vets, we've had captains. She's on Ohio. We picked her up off the streets. She'll tell you her story. I mean, so many different things across the board. And then I got to meet the 3 gentlemen that are in here. And the well is so deep, and what you guys bring so much to the table that you don't have any idea of the tip of the iceberg that you're beginning to show. It's just going to grow and go. I'm glad that you guys are going to be in the Ant family. I'm going to have it on Monday nights. I'm probably going to play a segment of this tonight at 7:30 because
This is so unique.
you were so
This
gracious
is so
to give me the time.
unique because talking to like a masculine presence and so intense, it's so overwhelming. But what advice would you give to someone that it's not humbled enough to and strong enough, right, to join your group and join your community? What advice would you put out there for someone that is feeling in that moment and weak and not ready and not prepared, however, in need?
In one word, act. Act. If it's not us, find joy in something else. We've talked about pretty heavy topics today. What we didn't talk about is joy. Joy is a choice. And everyone sitting around here or listening, we know what makes us happy. Ultimately, we know. And if it's not with Gentleman's Tribe, I would just tell that person just to act in a way that allows them to have more joy.
It's one day at a time. It's one step at a time. It's keep moving forward. Everyone has a battle you know nothing about. And each of those men's battles finds a place. Listen to yourself. And if your body is telling you something's not right, put yourself in a space where you have an opportunity, a chance, where it could become okay.
This made me thought of self-love. But when you think about self-love, most self-love subjects were around feminine presence and women's. We do nails, we do activities, we work out. And now I'm thinking very deep, thinking of a man, like what do? They take care of us. Literally, they take us out, they earn the money, they establish a home, they lead the family. But how deep is that thought when you think about self-love? And like it's incredible. And I'm so proud to sitting with you today here and listening to you because it's huge.
I want to get Ian's final words on your thought.
It all does come down to self-love. And so you have to find a way to take care of yourself. And we all go through traumas, we all go through emotions. We talked about people in the military, we talked about police officers and the things, the fear they have to deal with. If you bottle it up inside, you're not acting with self-love. You have to find a way to deal with this. It has to come out. If not, it's going to manifest in bad ways. It's going to be a way you're letting it out on the people you love around you, or it's going to manifest in disease within the body. So you have to find a healthy, clean way to let it out. This is an avenue we have. There's other ways as well, but this is what we recommend for us and for guys who are willing to actually act and do something, who want to grow, want to do it from within for their own self-love. And it often takes a journey to get you there. Some people aren't there yet, but hopefully they will get there, and the opportunity will be there when they're ready to love themselves and take the action.
I love the word want. And of everything you said, to me, the most important word in the English vocabulary is the word want. Because if you want it, you go get it. Now, I have another question because we have a couple of minutes left. I'm curious to find out from the three of you how people, if they want to be on your show. Now, two types of people. You got the group and you got people outside the group. Because people are going to be watching this and say, wait a minute, I want to be in this thing. So is there a prerequisite? Is there a way we're going to put this together? Have we even come up with that yet?
Yeah, so reach out to one of us so we can get to know you and see if you are the type of person that is a good fit for this organization. We want to be in a position to be able to help you. If you're not willing to do the things to be helped, we can't help you. And we also want to make sure you're going to add value to the organization, because the other men in the room need to grow from the experience of you being there. Sometimes we say you need the meeting, but sometimes someone in the meeting needs your contribution.
How would you handle, I'm getting text, how would you handle an organization? I'm not going to tell you the name of the organization, but if there's an organization that wants to meet with you guys to see how you can help, and there's more than one person involved in this organization, would that be part of the deal?
We're always looking to have conversations. This organic nature by which we all got here today, how we met up, how this is occurring, we love facilitating that. We love to meet with people and see where it goes. That's how this organization began in the first place. That's how we, again, got together today. We love having conversations. We love exploring relationships and seeing where they can lead us.
There's a saying that I love. It's everybody's worth a cup of coffee, and we don't have, while we have things that are rigid, there's a degree of flexibility, but there's also openness to other opportunities. And if there's an organization that's looking to have a conversation or collaborate, by all means. If these collaborations could lead to unlocking and healing and that overarching mission, we're only a phone call away.
Well, I love throwing curveballs. They'll tell you. I love the curveball. You know, if you can hit a curveball, you can hit a fastball, in my book anyway. So the three of you are open that if I have an organization that wants the three of you to go up there and sit and talk, not part of the tribe, but just part of the message, that you'll be willing to do that.
Absolutely.
I think for us, the word that we really discuss internally is service, being of service to others, and having that ripple effect. So whether formally involved or just an extension of this human family, if we can contribute to that, say that we're all open to that willingly and openly.
It comes down to the heart, right? If you open your heart and you're willing to listen and you're willing to understand the message, I think the word is yours.
I think that the interesting aspect of it is there are more people that want and there are less people that do. Sometimes you have to make a sacrifice to be vetted and join an organization, and so we all are on the same page. Some people don't do that. They want the shortcut. They want the blue pill or the green pill or the
Blue or the red pill.
Right? They want those pills. And the object of the game here, what I like is the stability of it. There is a ton of places that I'm going to be recommending you guys to, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Yep.
You know, this show, we're giving you a glimpse of what we're trying to do, community-based, organizational-based. The men's side, 2 weeks ago, I brought you the women's side. Laurie, you were there with 100 plus women as well. That organization had 80 women in our building. You saw it. All of them were doing something to help one another. In the business world. See, this is where this gets different. This gets different because in here they're not asking for that. They just want you to come so you could become friends to have somebody to compile with. I guess guys are a little bit different than girls, yeah?
I don't think so.
No.
I think
They're
it's
all the
just
same.
it's just the step. It's just it takes one moment to get inspired and be connected, and you feel that moment is yours. And that's how it happened to me. It was a bad moment, and I was listening to the right channel and the right podcast, and my life changed forever. And I think for men it's different. They have to, it is a big moment in life for sure that I'm listening and I'm part of, and I'm very proud to be sitting with you all because it's huge.
And likewise, it's been an honor sitting with you as well.
Wait a
You've
minute,
shared
before we
great-
leave,
great-
I got to touch on the
Yeah.
network. Do we have a name? Do we
we
know
have
what
a
we're
name?
doing with that yet?
Gentlemen's
here's that
Tribe
curve.
Network.
Here's this curveball, baby. Here's this curveball. There's a network.
Curveball.
Another kind of network involved in this. What's the name of the network?
Okay, the network is putting me on the spot. We might and pencil it in. Don't pen it in. Pencil it in.
Erase the time.
Gentlemen's Tribe Network.
Okay.
Perfect. Yay!
So we have something to base it on until further notice. But I love that. I love that. And there's a lot of other questions I have. There are other organizations that want to join. There's a lot to go over, but it is available. We're going to put it on the network. We're going to give it its own site, its own following network. We're thinking about newsletters and different things about it as well. Merch? Anybody say merch?
Merch is great, and I love where this is going because this isn't just a show. It's not just a network. It's a movement.
That's right.
It's a necessary, needed movement. Gentlemen's Stride.
And you've asked for it. I've been with you guys over 20 years on the air. Everybody's always asked. I've tried a number of times to get this done, and it never worked. It always fell apart. But this one's different. Come on down to Founders, join, come in. I don't know, you're going to have open sets where people could come and see your show?
We're open to anything.
Because I can have 40 guys in here, and don't tell me, Freddie, you didn't tell me they were coming.
Baby, we're new to your world. You tell us.
All right, so come on. I'm gonna invite my tribe. I'm gonna invite my tribe to come on down. And yes, you who text me, bring all the men down. I want to see 40 men in here, fill it up. And the bottom line here is, you heard it here. We are open for business. Come on down. We're gonna give you the schedule. What it looks like, I don't even know what it looks like yet. It doesn't matter because it's starting now.
Right now.
Boy, I know you. What, 3 weeks?
Lifetimes, baby.
Oh.
We just re-met.
All right, let's say our goodbyes. Yes, we're good. Let's wrap it up. Say our goodbyes. Any last words?
Thank you. Thank you for this
thank
conversation. You know, we learn something every time we talk. Every time we have a conversation, there's something to learn from it. So thank you.
Absolutely. My word of the day is witness. Because if you witness greatness, it'll make your day, and
Mine
it will
is?
bring you joy. What is yours?
Mine is open your heart.
Truly.
No matter what level you are and what place you are in life, open your heart, and you're always going to learn something new, and you're always going to
And I'm
find
gonna
your tribe.
piggyback on that. When you open your heart, it's not just about giving love. You also must receive.
That's right. I got a good one.
You got a good one.
If you love yourself, it doesn't matter who loves you.
True.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It all starts with you.
I'll start with you.
Dawn, we miss you. We'll see you on Monday. This show, portion of it is going to air tonight on radio at 7:30. Lloyd was gracious enough to give us that spot. So we're going to do that tonight. We're going to put it out there. All of you who hear it and you want to call in, you know the number, 866-224-5422. If you want to be on the group and talk to the tribe, give me a holler and we'll make it happen. Until then, we'll see you, what's today, Thursday? We'll see you tomorrow, Lost Days. Tomorrow is Friday. We'll see you at the Midday Show. We good? We out? All right, say goodbye.
Bye. We love you, Don.
Peace.
Woo! Love you, Don.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.